Yo, what's good, man? What's good, people? What's up, beautiful people? What's up? How's everybody, man? How's everybody? What's good, man? How's everybody doing out there? I hope everyone is having a beautiful week so far, an amazing week. Hey, man, we're back, baby. We're back, and I'm not gonna waste any more of y'all time, man. I promise y'all, we got a lot to get into today, so I'm not gonna waste any more of y'all time. So we'll get right into it. Welcome to another episode of the Jayson Estrera Show, where we talk about basketball, sports, and any other topic that comes our way as accurate as possible. Now, today, it's here. The day has come. The NBA is finally back. The summer felt long as shit. Even with the Olympics, there's been so much conversations about the NBA that trades, so many storylines going into this season that I just couldn't wait for it to start, and I'm sure many of you guys could not wait for this to start either. So we are going to get right into it. Now, last night, there were 2 games, and one of them involved my very own New York Knicks. But before we get into the games really quickly, I need y'all to listen to this.
We go out to dinner one night. George Carl's over on the other side, having dinner. Hey, there's George Carl over there. And George Carl does not come over and speak to him.
He walked right past me. Now look at Mossy. Really? Oh, so that's how you gonna play it?
He just kind of went by, and I went, uh-oh, should have never done that.
I said, it's a crock of shit. We went to Carolina. Dean Smith. I see him in the summer. We play golf. You gonna do this? Okay, fine. That's all I needed. That's all I needed for him to do that, and it became personal with me.
So, last night, we witnessed the start of the Boston Celtics' defense of their NBA championship. And unfortunately for my New York Knicks, we were in the way of a ball that was already rolling down the hill. There's entire videos, a lot from The Last Dance, that talks about all the different times that Michael Jordan took it personal. And all of the driving factors, the people that were involved, the people that were targeted. Kobe has done the same thing. And it seems to me that our good old friend Steve Kerr has fucked over the NBA for the next couple of years. You did it. Congratulations, Steve Kerr. Congratulations. I hope you're proud of the fact that you've now ruined Steph Curry's chances at another title, LeBron's chances at another title, Anthony Edwards trying to retire and go and play football in the next couple years, because you have now fucked with Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown, and they have a coach who we've talked about repeatedly that has an ability to flip these situations on their head to drive his athletes and his players to go do amazing things. And on top of that, you have two stars that are battle tested, they've gone through this media hurdle before. They've gotten better since then. They've gained more experience, and now they know what it feels like to become a world champion. And their best player, Jayson Tatum, who has always been quiet, has always been to himself, doesn't really say much, and had this, very calm, mild-mannered demeanor, and you have now potentially woken up something in him that I don't even know if he knew he had. Like I said about Anthony Edwards just a couple days ago, there's gonna come a point in time where the same people that have cheered for you and that have sang your praises, that were behind you, that were supporting you, are gonna be the same people that are gonna say you're not good enough, you need to do this differently, you're not this, you're not that, you can't do this, you can't do that. And you either go left or you go right. And it's happened with every great player that we've ever had. Happened with LeBron. The year he lost in Miami, he was always the good guy, the fun-loving guy up until that point. And when he felt like the media and the world turned on him, guess what happened in the years to come? And Jayson Tatum is what, 26? 26 years old. And he has changed his jump shot already and showed it off in game 1. So I hope that you are happy, Steve Kerr, because blood is on your hands. This is on you. This is totally on you, Steve Kerr. You have started the next dynasty in the NBA. So I hope that you're proud of yourself for that. Hi, Mom. Hi, Mom. I love you too. Yeah, we were in the way of a moving train last night, of a runaway train called the Boston Celtics. And I had mentioned this already, right? When they beat the Philadelphia 76ers by 50 in a preseason game. And I get their players aren't there. But to me, it screamed a team that's trying to send a message. It screamed of a team that isn't happy with what happened last season, because they got what they all wanted, which was an NBA championship, and what came with it was criticism. And so you now have a team that's motivated and a coach that doesn't seem to allow them to lose sight of that. You have guys in their prime. It's just a recipe for disaster. And you have my New York Knicks, who just made a trade. Excuse me. With the move that they made over the summer, already needing to make an adjustment on the team, and then making another move right before media day. To me, I wouldn't be surprised if the Boston Celtics took offense to that. Oh, you guys think that you could just come together like oh, like we gonna show you guys. And so this upcoming season, it looks like it's gonna be a long year for the NBA. The Boston Celtics are big. All of them 1 through 5 are very skilled. Everyone can shoot the three. Everyone can put the ball on the floor. On defense, you could see that they have their concepts down. The way they pre-rotate. They know when they want someone like a Jayson Tatum to be the low man or the guy up top. I saw it. They have an understanding of how they're going to rotate, when they're going to rotate, how they switch, which situations they switch. And then on offense, like I said, they have their sets that they can go to, and their 1 and 2 punch is as good as any. It really is. So, looking at this team moving forward, right? Now, in the playoffs last year, a lot, and I mean a lot of people were saying that Jayson Tatum was not their main guy. And there was a lot of questions going into the NBA Finals as to who was going to win it. And Tatum had this to say about that. And he really thought that people were trolling that that they were choosing the Dallas Mavericks. You can call that cockiness, you could call that whatever you want to call it. But they beat that team pretty handedly. And in the entire playoffs, Jayson Tatum led that team in points, assists, and rebounds. Also attempted the most free throws on the team per game and averaged the most minutes per game. And that was probably the worst shooting stretch that he's had in his career. And they still won the entire thing pretty handedly. Now, he didn't shoot great in the Olympics. And to the people that always talk about, oh, well, it's not all about scoring. Well, this is a guy that's really grown into that role. Someone that rebounds consistently, passes and moves the ball consistently. And then he worked on his jump shot. An all-NBA player that last season shot 37% from the three-point line. And last night, what does he go? Jayson Tatum. He had a broken jump shot and shot 37% from 3. And it looked like he couldn't miss last night. He was 14 of 18 from the field, 8 of 11 from 3. I think we're in for a long fucking year. I really, really, really do. Anytime the Boston Celtics take on the Golden State Warriors, bet on all of the overs. Bet all on the overs on Jayson Tatum. Everyone was wondering how this would affect this team. Listen, we all see Jayson Tatum, right? When Jayson Tatum gets a farmer's tan, it's real obvious. I was watching the game last night, and this guy got no farmer's tan, and he likes to golf. What does that tell you? This man been in the gym. He been in the gym. I promise you, he maybe took 2 weeks off. Maybe. And what he probably did was he actually disconnected, was out on the beach, tanning, hanging out, whatever, and then got right back to it. Y'all have turned the nice guy into the villain. And now this is what I've seen this before. We've seen this before. Right? And like I said, it's not just him. This entire team, top to bottom, it just they're just really good. He was with LMA. he was whatever he was doing, shit. Like whatever he was doing, bro. Like good luck. And to switch gears a little bit, right? And highlight his teammate Jaylen Brown, who sat down with Stephen A. Smith for an interview about unnamed sources, right? With the t-shirt that says "State your source" to Stephen A. Smith. Y'all should really go check the interview out. And there was a lot to get into when it comes to this interview, right? So forgive me if I miss anything, but there was a lot to get into. And they kept talking about this time when Stephen A. Smith had talked about an unnamed source on First Take. And so I figured, why don't we just take a look at it, right? Because they kept talking about it, but like I said, let's listen to what the original thing was again, and let's see. All right.
Throw this out to both of y'all, and Jay, I'm gonna come to you first with this, and you say what you want to say, whatever point you was gonna make. But I wanted to read to y'all what an NBA source just sent me. He said, Jaylen Brown, it's not so much that he's underrated, it's that he's just not liked because of his quote, "I am better than you" attitude. He knows it. It's the same reason he is not as marketable as he should be. That's what an NBA.
And so that was the original quote that was on First Take. And the conversation, just so you guys have a little bit of context, the conversation was, is Jaylen Brown the most underrated NBA star? And that was the quote from an unnamed source that Stephen A. had decided to bring up. DY was coming in on the boards like he was prepared to die. Steven gets paid to yap. And listen, I appreciate Stephen A. Smith because he's had good moments, he's had bad moments, but he always shows up the next day, right? He always faces it, right? So I do appreciate him for that, and also having the conversation with Jaylen Brown. That sit down is very important, right? And so to get into the quote, the big dog. Fix my sound in what way? Am I too low? Or is it too high? The big dog. Alright, what did people say? People don't like Jayson because he's so good. He makes them feel bad. Slash reflect. Yeah, and so when it comes to let me know which one, what it is, big dog. Let me know. It's too high right now. It's distorting. Let me see. Is that any better? Yo. Is that any better? All right, let me know. All right, so better, perfect. Okay, I appreciate you so much. I appreciate you for real. I appreciate you. Now, all right, bet. I turned it down, so hopefully that's better. All right. So when we get into this original quote from Stephen A's unnamed source, and then they get into this interview, right? I completely understand where Jaylen Brown is coming from. I was wild and I didn't even notice. It probably gets really loud when I laugh and shit real close, but here we are. Hey man, I appreciate the help. 100%. Anytime. I appreciate that shit. Thank you. And so when you watch the interview, Jaylen Brown is he's very direct in saying that his issue wasn't with Stephen A. Smith. His issue wasn't even with necessarily the context of what they were saying, I don't think. It was the fact that this person said, quote unquote, it's just that he's not liked because of his I am better than you attitude, and he knows it. See, that's personal. It wasn't as if this person said, oh, Jaylen Brown may have rubbed some executives or people in power the wrong way. That's why he's not able to get some of these awards or some of these looks. He said it's because of his I am better than you attitude. That's why in the interview, Jaylen Brown says this man attacked my character. He didn't just say that people didn't like me or people don't like me. He said I'm not marketable, called me arrogant because of the way that he carries himself. And so I totally get where Jaylen Brown is coming from. He needs to defend himself because clearly nobody is, right? And so in that respect, I think it was great that he checked Stephen A. Smith because he didn't have to read that. He didn't, right? He didn't have to read that. He could have reworded it or just not say it at all. And something really important that Jaylen Brown had mentioned in the interview was the fact that when you have someone that's an unnamed source, this masked person on the internet that no one knows who this person is, right? At least when Stephen A. Smith says something, a player can go on the show. A player could call him, could text him. You know who you can get to. But when it's an unnamed source, it's someone that can say pretty much anything with no ramification. And that's where Jaylen Brown has an issue with this whole situation. And like I said, I get it. Right? I get him, because is very valid in that. And now to tackle the context of what this person said, because during the interview, Jaylen Brown in a way agreed, right, that he understands that the way that he is trying to create different foundations, Black Wall Street, all his initiatives in Boston to get kids to MIT. He does a lot in the community, and he's very outspoken. And so he spoke about understanding that. And, you know, this goes back to his tweet at Nike, right? With the Kyrie Irving situation. It says, when did y'all care about ethics? The Olympics this year, right? He was at Nike. He even said on the interview, right? If I have to sign with Nike to be in the Olympics, then I'm going to pass. And so now we have this person who has not only taken offense to everything that's happened to him in his career at this point, but now he's trying to battle the system. He has his own shoe brand that's coming out. He spoke about, when you work with some of these companies or with these major companies, the fact that you don't have the freedom to dictate the direction of your brand. You don't have that creativity. And that goes hand in hand with the report of him turning down up to $50 million in endorsement deals from sneaker companies. One probably being Nike. So this is really a Jaylen Brown Nike problem, right? He doesn't agree with the way that they conduct business, right? He also spoke on the interview about sneaker companies have too much power in this space. It's about what sneaker company are you going to align with. And it's much less about developing the younger players to be better basketball players. And that alludes to this Nike system and the fact that they are the overarching figure in USA basketball. And when you read this morning or a couple days ago, right, that Nike is going to remain the NBA's exclusive uniform apparel provider on a new 12-year contract extension. And by the way, it's not just jerseys. It's content. It's a bunch of other things. And you could say that don't mean anything, but again, it points to a major company that has a lot of influence in a sport that's supposed to be pure, right? We look at sports as the thing that's supposed to be as competitive and as real as it could be, right? It's not the WWE. Sounds like we were cooked. And I think the reality about Nike is they've lost a little bit of their influence in this space over the last, call it, decade. Steph Curry has come out to be one of the most popular sneakers since he's become popular. You have now an Anthony Edwards on Adidas that has it's widely regarded as the number one signature shoe. In terms of their up and coming stars, I mean, who does Nike have? You know, LeBron is older, KD is older. Who is that next person in line? Even Jordan Brand is not doing great. And we've talked about the fact that when it comes to running and the rise in popularity of running in the last couple of years, Nike isn't at the forefront of that. That's why a couple of days ago I started seeing Nike ads of all different types of athletes running. All basketball players, tennis players. It was all in a Nike ad. It wasn't even a running ad. It was just a Nike ad, and they were just all running and running shorts, running gear. I was like, okay, I see what's happening. When you look at the casual wear space, they're not leading that either. You got Asics, you know, Saucony is coming up. You got all these different brands, Solomon's, all these different brands now. So I think that Nike has been feeling the pressure. Their Jordans don't sell like it used to. They haven't made a new model that's dope. It's all about recycling what they've already recycled over the last 30 some odd years. And then on top of all of that, you have this figure in Jaylen Brown that's calling you on your bullshit. And I think that that's what's happening. I remember over the playoffs, I said, man, if Anthony Edwards really want to take this face of the league thing, he's going to have to sign with Nike, because that's just the reality of the situation. But, hey, man, maybe I just don't know what I'm talking about. But now we have a guy in Jaylen Brown who has a beef with the major company that backs the NBA, being Nike. And so, yeah, talk about someone that's motivated to go and win championships for the next couple of years, along with Jason Tatum. Because the irony in all of this, right, because players have spoken about it before, about when you become a champion, that there's almost like it's like you get entered into a club, right? It's like now you're a part of the group. And the Olympics was damn near the opposite of that. Like, you're not with these champions, you're not with these guys. We can't use you. It's crazy. It's crazy. And so, like I said, man, this is on Steve Kerr for the next couple of years. You did this. This is your fault. My New York Knicks took an ass beating last night, and it's your fault. I'm just calling it what it is, bro. It's your fault. It's your fault, Steve Kerr. God damn it. Now we're going to have a long-ass 3-4 years of this. I mean, that guy had the worst shooting stretch of his career and averaged 25 and almost 10 rebounds a game in the playoffs. Like, are we serious? Like, why would you bother that guy? Shit, man. Now, we got to talk about my New York Knicks, unfortunately. I guess the silver lining in last night's game, just to kind of put this cap on the Boston Celtics, was they hit 29 3-pointers to tie the NBA record. GG Knicks. It really was GG. They hit 29 3-pointers to tie the NBA record as a team. And then they proceeded to miss like 14, 13 straight 3-pointers. So they didn't break the record. And kudos to Joe Mazzulla, because with one possession left for the Boston Celtics, instead of allowing them to try to shoot another three, he said, no, dribble the ball out and take the 24-second violation. We've spoken about this before with the Liberty just like a week or two ago. They didn't deserve to break that record. They had the entire fourth quarter to do it and couldn't do it. And I appreciate him having the wherewithal to try to have a teachable moment in that. At the end of the game, he was hot. He was, I don't know if y'all saw, he was pissed at the end of the game after they were dribbling the ball out. He was hot on the bench because they hunted the record in the 3-point, the 3-ball, instead of playing their game. And so to see a coach have that kind of a reaction on a night like that, they just got their ring. They blew out. Some people are calling us the New York Knicks the second best team in the East. Reggie said the second best team in the entire league. I was like, what the fuck? But to see Joe Mazzulla react like that honestly just really adds to the pile of evidence that I already have that this Boston Celtics team is probably going to repeat this year. And, you know, the funny thing is they might end up breaking the 3-point record at some point this season, the way they were shooting. Because I was mind blown. They, to your point, Elijah, them boys was not missing at all. At all. And I appreciated Josh Hart's reaction. He's like, they need to get drug tested. I'm with you. I'm with you. Because what the hell? That shit looked crazy. It looked crazy. Remember when he just be Serge, you guys remember when he just be saying anything like. And listen, Elijah, you're my witness, right? I've been skeptical about this whole New York shit all summer. I've been skeptical. And that's not, I think a part of it is me just being I'm going to be harder on my team than anybody else. But when I saw that they had Karl Anthony Towns, Josh Hart, OG Anunoby, Mikal Bridges, and Jalen Brunson, I said, what the fuck are we doing? You know, most times you lie. Oh, well, they cool down when I tell you they got hotter, bro. It took 3 quarters for them guys to cool down, bro. That's the unreal part. It took 3 quarters. But when you look at my New York Knicks, they had 7 Deuce McBrides yesterday. And that was the only bright spot because Deuce was lighting them up. The funny shit was we were shooting like 50% for most of the game. We were still down 20. Dante leaving did hurt. But the thing is this, right? losing Isaiah Hartenstein, I think, took everybody out of their natural position. Because you get the domino effect of now Mitchell Robinson isn't starting the year. And he could have played next to Julius Randle. And everyone would have fallen into place. Him at the 5, Randle at the 4, with OG, Mikal, and Brunson. But we're still forcing this Josh Hart at the power forward bullshit. I don't get it. Deuce was like, if it's a shootout, y'all want. I appreciate him for coming in guns blazing, but it don't solve the problem of the fact that now we are significantly undersized. Compared to a team in the Boston Celtics that has a lineup that's bigger than everybody. They look bigger than everyone, and that was without Kristaps Porzingis. So we're gonna need a center for the Knicks. I don't know where we're gonna get one. I don't know. But we need a center for the Knicks. That's what we're really missing. And I think everybody will be able to kind of fall in line if we can actually get a real center. And your main big don't want to be a big. I'd really be a lot more. I'd be a lot happier with this trade with Cat. Excuse me. If we actually had a big. If we actually had a big to go with Cat, I think everything would kind of fall in line. Josh Hart would be the 6th man of the year, and we could rock with that. But hopefully there's a vision I'm not seeing. Hey, man, listen. Our best player is 6'1" on a good day. He needs help. We can't get smaller because he needs help. Like, dog. Like, this is just... And he was trying. There came a point, I swear, bro. I swear, I could have been seeing shit. I swear, he looking around like, ain't nobody else playing? He said nobody else. He driving, he getting, you know how he play. He get thrown on the floor. He looking around. He's like, I'm by myself out here. And so, it's just one game. It's just one game. And the reality of this situation is, with Mikal Bridges, it probably would have taken 30 to 40 games for everyone to kind of get comfortable in their spots and in their roles to begin with. Jay Randall looked poor on T-Wolves too. Hopefully he gets ironed out. You know, like I said, with Mikal, it would have taken a bit of time for everyone to get settled in. And now you add Karl Anthony Towns. So now, to me, that clock that timeline just gets a little bit longer, just because there's more people you have to get into the fold. And then you add the fact that Mikal Bridges, for whatever reason, decided to change his jump shot. I mean, my God. You know, it's funny. Rick was happy as hell. He was walking out in timeout, cheesing and bouncing while he walked, bro. Did anybody see that Mikal Bridges jump shot last night? Like, I'm telling you, there are some people out there that want to seem really smart when it comes to this basketball shit. And so they start using different terms, different words to describe different things. I saw a whole video the other day of this guy saying that certain jump shots aren't jump shots because they're set shots, and I was like, what am I listening to? You get guys that really overcomplicate this stuff, and some of them unfortunately end up being these trainers that end up messing with something that didn't need to be fixed. Boy looked like uncoordinated 7th grader that got picked up because he has a basketball body. He was already a shooter. It's not like we have a Mikal Bridges that was like a Jason Richards situation that was all athleticism and was learning to really shoot a jump shot when he became a pro. No, this guy was a shooter before he got here. So why are we meddling with it? And so whatever has happened, I don't know if maybe he got an injury. I don't know. Hopefully it gets settled. He has a hitch in his shot now. It looks weird. It doesn't look fluid. And this is a real big contrast to Jayson Tatum, who went from a broken jump shot. Shout out Yo Live about trainers. And then we get a Jayson Tatum who had a broken jump shot to now a fluid jump shot. I think that's what made it look even worse to me. Was we have one guy who fixed it because his needed fixing, and then we got a guy that fixed it for no reason. And then on top of that, we have to somehow figure all of these guys out into the offense and the defense and all that good stuff. It's a headache, man. It's a headache. Listen, maybe I'm just a pessimistic Knicks fan, but it's a headache right now. Now, to look at their trade partner, which is the Minnesota Timberwolves. And to your point, Elijah, Julius Randle didn't look good for the Minnesota Timberwolves either. And there's a lot of one-on-one. There was a lot of kind of standing around. And the issue that I thought that they would have because of this trade, which obviously they can fix, but it showed itself last night, which was their spacing. Randall historically likes to get the ball at, around the elbows. So he could face up, triple threat, jabs. He has a step back. He can go, spin, whatever. And then he could also, at times step out and hit his three. But that's where he likes to operate. So now you take away driving lanes from Anthony Edwards, a Mike Conley, a Jaden McDaniels, and now everyone's shooting three-pointers. And so I saw it happen with Jalen Brunson, but I also saw it with Anthony Edwards last night, right? The two stars of the teams. When things got bad, it was a little bit of hero ball. Because you could tell that they can sense the fact that this team at this point has no cohesion. They're not cohesive. They're not on the same page. They're still trying to get everybody into it. And so they started playing a little bit of hero ball. Anthony Edwards, I think, came like 4 possessions down and shot a pull-up. Like he was trying, but that's what happened. And you can see it, right? And so for a team like the Minnesota Timberwolves, you have a Rudy Gobert that already has to stay in the lane. If you take him out of the lane, even on offense, he's useless. You put another guy on the opposite elbow if he's on the opposite block. And yeah, now you have more of a 2000 looking offense. That's what we saw. Like, I don't know, they're gonna have to run like a triangle or some shit. Like, I don't know what they're gonna have to do. But what I saw last night, it wasn't it. Now, granted, they made a little run and they tried to make a game out of it, but it was just a little bit too little, too late. And for the other side, the LA Lakers finally get a victory when LeBron has a historic moment, which is, finally for them, right? So it was funny because when Bronny first checked into the game, right, with LeBron, the first thing that happens when Minnesota gets the ball going the other way, Julius Randle goes right at his chest and shoots a little mid-range pull-up. And I started laughing. I was like, ain't no way. But that's the NBA. And so it was a really cool moment. I'm glad they did it last night because you wouldn't want this to drag on. Just get it out the way. And then they got to just play basketball. And so, it's a big deal for the James family. I mean, if you really think about just the whole thing with the family, it really is cool. Excuse me. It really is. So congratulations to those guys. But I wanted to talk about Anthony Davis for a second because I know that I brought him up last week with a quote that LeBron had from the starting five where he was talking about not seeing anyone on the floor that is in better shape than him, that's more equipped for the moment than him. He's yet to see that person. I like Julia because of that. He always had a great mentality. Kobe said, I like certain types of bullies. It'd be like that, yeah. And I thought that LeBron was speaking about Anthony Davis in that quote, indirectly. And we had this real conversation about Anthony Edwards, right? Because he's the top 75. He's came in as a defensive player. His offense grew, but he never got a Defensive Player of the Year award. And so when it comes to him being the next guy in line for the Lakers, I was wondering if that was the case. And it seems like he's starting his Defensive Player of the Year campaign early this year. By early, we mean game one. And I think the reality for him is, with the way that Wemby played last year, he has to start his Defensive Player of the Year campaign as early as possible. And so I'm curious as to how he's going to end up at the end of the year. Will he be that dominant force that we've all kind of been waiting for, but we all have our doubts. His daughter's birthday was yesterday as well. Who? Julius Randle's daughter? But man, the Lakers, I don't know. I think we need a bigger sample size to see how good they're going to be. And when it comes to JJ Redick, right? I already said that I don't really think that this season is going to really determine how good of a coach he is or not. I mean, you have a team that's a lot of the same players coming back. Oh, Bron's daughter was birthday. Oh, that's lit. She looked like the superstar of the family, bro. For real. Like, she looked like the star of the family. But JJ in this position, I don't think there's much to expect. I mean, what can you expect from a guy that's never had a assistant coaching position, that's never coached in college, or he's just never done it. So what can you expect from someone like that, regardless of how smart you think he is or isn't? I saw a lot of people joking about, JJ said he didn't even know why the people were cheering when Bron and Bronny were checking in. And people were like, "Oh, he not even the coach of his own team." And I think he was obviously trolling. Some people just can't read between the lines. He was obviously trolling. He obviously has the personality to be the coach of a team in Los Angeles, but like I said, can he be the driving force, the motivator for these guys to get them on the same page to go and win a title? So that's the question. I don't know if that's the case. We gotta wait and see. But the NBA is back, y'all. I don't know. Let me see. How many games do we have tonight? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Jesus. 10 games tonight. Oh, by the way, they gotta cut out calling LeBron Bronny's dad. Like they gotta stop, bro. Like, it was hard to listen to. They can't be doing that. They can't. Oh, LeBron passes to his son, Bronny passes to his dad. Nah, you guys can't do that. Like, you guys can't. It hurt to hear that shit. Call one of them LeBron, call the other one Bronny, and just leave it at that. The fuck are we doing? Like, like, bro, maybe it was just me, but like, it was hard to listen to that stuff, man. I was like, what are you guys doing? But we have 10 games tonight. Let me see. Oh my God. Pacers, Detroit, Cleveland Raptors, Milwaukee 76ers, Magic, Heat, Nets, Hawks, Bulls, Pelicans, Charlotte, Houston, Memphis, Utah, Warriors, Trailblazers, Suns, Clippers. Nothing really good, but we'll try to watch as many of these games as possible. For now, that's going to do it for me. Before we get out of here, please like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. It really, really helps the channel out. I really appreciate y'all being here. Y'all could have been anywhere on the internet, but y'all were here with me, and I really, really appreciate y'all for that. So I'll see y'all next time. The big dog, thank you so much. Hey, I really, really appreciate you for that, man. Thank you for the help. I truly appreciate you for that. But I will see y'all next time. I'll be live Friday at around the same time, 3 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Eastern. I'll see y'all, man. Thank y'all for hanging out. I appreciate y'all. I'll see y'all later, man. Y'all have a great rest of y'all day. Y'all have a